You know, when we go for Hajj, the Salah itself is a Hajj. It's a pilgrimage. It's a trip. It's a journey that a Musalli is performing when he goes for Hajj. He goes to that miqat of Hajj, where he has to stand. That Musalli also goes to the miqat to meet his Lord, which is the mihrab of ibadah, that place where he stands in that masjid to pray. And when he reaches that miqat, he has to put his ihram, that white cloth, that cloth of obedience. And he has to put that cloth that after being muhrim, after putting that cloth of ihram, whatever was haram, whatever was halal before, becomes haram after the ihram. In Hajj, looking at the mirror, it was halal, it becomes haram. Killing insects, animals, halal, it becomes haram. Covering the head, covering the feet, staying in the shade, applying perfume, all these things were halal, it becomes haram straight away after ihram. In the same way, when the person starts his salat with takbiratul ihram, whatever was halal before becomes haram. Laughing, talking, drinking, eating, all these things which are halal becomes haram. And then he starts his salat. He enters inside Masjid al-Haram, he enters inside that house of Allah when he sees the Kaaba. In the same way when the Musalli enters in that position of Salat, he sees his Lord in front of him. And he was asked to Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam, have you ever seen your Lord, your Master, your Creator? He says, how is it possible that I talk to him, I communicate with him, but I don't see him? But it was seen with the qalb, it was seen with these internal eyes. As Imam al-Sadiq alayhi salatu wasalam says, every mu'min has two pairs of eyes and two pairs of ears. Two external and internal. These were the eyes of Basira. As the Quran says, some of them, they don't have that eye. لَهُمْ آذَانٌ لَا يَسْمَعُونَ بِهَا لَهُمْ أَعْيُنٌ لَا يَبْصِرُونَ بِهَا. Some people, they have these ears, but they cannot see because they don't have the internal ears, the internal eyes. Some people, they have these external ears, but they cannot listen, they cannot understand because they don't have those ears, which are the internal eyes and ears. The Basira. And he enters there. And when he enters there, wherever he turns his eyes and his face, he sees his Lord. In front of the Kaaba, you don't ask for direction. You don't ask where is the Jihatul Qibla. Because everywhere is the Qibla. The Kaaba is in the middle. In all the four corners of the Kaaba, wherever you turn, it's all facing Qibla. It's the manifestation of the verse of the Holy Quran which says, فَأَيْنَمَا تُوَلُّوا فَثَمَّ وَجْهُ اللَّهِ. Wherever you turn your face, وَلِلَّهِ الْمَشْرِقِ وَالْمَغْرِبِ. All the directions are for Allah. Wherever you turn your face, you would see the face of Allah. You would see the presence of Allah. In the same way, when the Haji starts his salat, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. In Arabic grammar, Alhamd, that alif and lam, that comes before Alhamd. That Alhamd, alif and lam is called alif lam al-istighraq. Means all the hamd, unlimited hamd, la mutanahiyya. All the hamd are there. Whatever you can imagine of hamd, of shukr, of praise, is encompassed there. It's there. Everything is there. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. This is the tawaf of the Musalli. And after that, when he reaches a certain position of elevation, he bends down in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in ruku' and says, oh Allah, I am low, I am bending down in front of you, but you are al-azim position of his body, which is his forehead, goes to the lowest position, to the khaf, to the turab. And he says, oh Allah, I am low and you are al-a'la. You are the high. And he says, Subhana Rabbi al-a'la. And after each event, he raises his hand and says, Allahu Akbar. When he starts the salat, he says, oh Allah, you are higher. When he decides that tasbih, when he decides that hamd and that conversation with Allah, he says, oh Allah, all this conversation is done, your praise is done. But you are higher than whatever I have recited. He says, Allahu Akbar. He goes to ruku, he bends down. He says, even my bending down is there. But you are higher than whatever I have recited. You are higher than all the position of bending down that I have. He gets up and he says, Allahu Akbar. He goes to the sajda. He goes to the lowest position in front of the highest Lord. But when he gets up, he says, oh Allah, even this is low. This is nothing in front of you. My ma'arifah is so limited, so small, so narrow. But even that is nothing. He again says, Allahu Akbar. After each and every position of the salah, he keeps reciting and he keeps saying, Allahu Akbar, until he finishes his salah. He ends his salah. And when he finishes, he says 3 times, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Allah, the whole salah, Mi'raj al-Mu'min is finished, but I have not been able to reach to that status of thanking you enough. You are even higher than that, much more higher than all the salah that I have recited. I can never fulfill the duty and fulfill the level of your highness. And between the salat is between the two sujood, between the two sajda is the entire life. Our entire life is summarized within these 2 sajdas. The first sajda, when you go to sajda, the first one, you put your forehead on the sand. It represents pre-eternity, before our creation even. When we were not even created, we were not even worth to be created. As the Quran says, Allah says in the Holy Quran in Surah Al-Insan, Surah Al-Dahr, He says, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, هَلْ أَتَى عَلَى الْإِنسَانِ حِينٌ مِّنَ الدَّهْرِ لَمْ يَكُنْ شَيْئًا مَذْكُورًا. Shay, not even a thing worth to be mentioned, not even a thing. It means that none of the creation were created. Even the concept of humanity, the concept of human being, the tasawwur of insaniya would not even come in the minds when you were not even worth to be mentioned. That's the first sajda. It was nothing. First sajda. He sits. This is his creation. He's been created now. We have created you. Inna second surah, second verse of Surah Al-Dahr. Inna khalaqnakum. We have created you. This is the creation where it sits. I have been created. But how? Min nutfatin amshaj. From a najis, an impure nutfah. إِنَّا خَلَقْنَاكُمْ مِنْ نُطْفَةٍ أَمْشَاجٍ نَبْتَلِيهِ فَجَعَلْنَاهُ سَمِيعًا بَصِيرًا. This is His creation. But this creation is so limited. This life that we are in now is so small, so limited. And after a certain time, that angel of death, that Malakul Maut will come and will take the soul again. Again he will be buried inside the grave. Will go again to the destination from where it came. He will go again to the dust. He will go again to the sand. This is our second sajda when we will be buried again. And after that he sits again. This is the day of resurrection. This is the second life that he will get. Alhamdulillah alladhi ahyani ba'da ma amatani. This is the second life. And between these 2 sajda is our entire life, which was spent in one istighfar. Astaghfirullah Rabbi wa atubu ilayh. This one istighfar is the summary of our entire entire life, oh Allah, I am your small servant and slave, which has been created from nutfatin amshaj, from anatis nutfa, and you have granted me the permission to talk to you, to address you. Ilahi, adhintani bidu'aika wa mas'alatik. This is the greatest bounty, the greatest ni'mah that a Lord can give to his slave and servant. Otherwise, I would not even dare to talk to you. I am so low and so small, I would not even dare to talk to you, dare to take your name from my tongue. But oh Allah, you are Arhamur Rahimeen, and you have allowed me, you have given me this tawfiq and the permission, the idhn to be able to talk to you, to remember you. And this is the life, which is between two sajdas. At the time of one of the prophets, a lady, an old lady, is complaining to one of the prophets, saying that my child, my son passed away very young. He was shab, and he passed away very young. He says, how old was your son? He said, 350 years. He said, 350 years? He said, yeah, he was very young. He says, you know, a time will come when people will not live more than 70 years. The average life of a normal human being will be around 70. So that lady is saying that if only I would be living during those times, I would spend my entire life within one sajda, within one prostration. That is the entire life. Prophet Nuh, ala nabiyyina wa alihi wa alayhi salam, after spending all these years, around 2,500 years, only the time of his propagation, of his tabligh was 900 years. When he passed away, it was like if he came in from one door and exited from the other door. So small and so short. This is the entire Hajj that he's performing. And when a Haji comes back from his Hajj, when he finishes his pilgrimage, his Hajj, he comes back again from the trip, min al-khalqi ila al-khalq. When he does the trip from the Lord towards the creations, he comes back towards his family and his beloved ones. So he greets the hands of his people, he greets the hands of his family and friends, and people are telling him, Taqabbal Allah. This was the same way when the Salat, the Musalli finishes his Salat, he shakes the hand of those who are in right and left, and shakes them and says, may Allah accept this Mi'raj, this Salat, this Hajj that you have performed. It was asked to our sixth Holy Imam, Ja'far bin Sadiq alayhi salatu wassalam, one of the companions of the sixth Holy Imam is asking about the Kaaba. Why is the Kaaba called Kaaba? The companion is saying, the Sahabi is saying, لِمَا سُمِّيَ الْكَعْبَةُ كَعْبَةً. Why is the name of the Kaaba Kaaba? And Imam is replying, because the Kaaba is in the shape of a cube. Maghrab. It's in the shape of a cube. And the Kaaba has 4 corners. It's in the shape of the cube. That's why it's called Kaaba. It's called from Maghrab, means cube. The companion doesn't stop there. He asks next question. Why is the Kaaba in the form of a cube? Why is it like a Maghrab? Imam replies, because there is another house of Allah. There is another Baytullah, which is بِحِذَاءِ الْعَرْشِ بِحِذَاءِ الْكَعْبَةِ. There is another house of Allah which is in the arsh of Allah, on the throne of Allah, above the Kaaba, which is circumambulated by angels. The Malaika are circumambulating that house, and the human beings are circumambulating this Kaaba. He says, because that Baytul Ma'mur, that house of Allah which is above the Kaaba, is also in the shape of a cube, is also like a maghrab. The companion doesn't stop. He says, why the Baytul Ma'mur is in the shape of a Makkah, in the shape of the cube? Imam replies, because the Baytul Ma'mur is placed on the throne of Allah, on the Arsh, and the Arsh of Allah has 4 corners. And the companion again asks, why is the Arsh of Allah in the form of, it has 4 corners? And the riwayah goes on and on and on until Imam says, because there are 4 kalamat, 4 words, strict magic words, which are the foundation of the religion. Buniya al-Islam, the bina of Islam, 4 pillars of religion. The 4 secret and magic words, Subhanallah, walhamdulillah, wa la ilaha illallah, wallah. This tasbihat al-arba'a that we are reciting in the salah is the foundation of religion, and that is why the throne of Allah has 4 corners. That is why the house of Allah, Baytul Ma'mur, which is circumambulated by angels, has 4 corners. And because of that, the Kaaba has 4 corners. That is why the Kaaba is in the form of a cube, and that is why the Kaaba has been called Kaaba. That's why when Imam Sadiq alayhi salatu wasalam, he says to the advice to the pilgrims, he says, وَطِفْ بِقَلْبِكَ مَعَ الْمَلَائِكَةِ حَوْلَ الْعَرْشِ. When you do the tawaf of this Kaaba, do it from your heart. Perform the circumambulation